Hello and welcome to the Rings here in Ringwood for what is sure to be an exciting NBL1 finals clash here between the Ringwood Hawks and the Nunawading Spectres. My name is Matt Hickey, and today I'm joined by a man who probably wishes he was still coaching his side at the moment, but has done us the honour of coming up and sitting in the commentary booth. Ken Harrington, coach of the Ringwood Hawks. Man, Ken, thanks for jumping up here and on the mic with me.
Matthew, it's my pleasure. Very proud of the way the girls have gone this year, and yeah, very jealous, mate. I think finals time is what everybody plays for, and today, you know, our girls have got a chance to put themselves in a preliminary final, which is it's a great achievement. But after last night's game, they're going to need to play a lot better than they did at Geelong last night. But they're capable. Indeed,
and there's a bit of a compressed format, if you're not aware, for the NBL1 finals in terms of the women's side of the game. Because, of course, last week, Opal's camp was still finishing up. There were some under-19 Australia commitments. So they took the week off last week, which means both of these teams played last night. So I know you don't believe in the whole fatigue thing.
No.
You think if you're good enough, you'll play the minutes. But it will be interesting to see how the two teams go down the stretch. Oh, I think, anyway.
No, it's garbage, mate. I think if you can't play...
It hasn't taken long for us to disagree on something, has it?
If you cannot play 2 games in 2 days, I don't think you've got any chance of playing in the NBA. 82-game schedule in the NBA. They play back-to-backs. They play 5 games, 4 games, 3 games a week.
And I see all these players would have grown up playing tournaments as well, where you've got to play 7 or 8 games in a weekend.
It's not an excuse unless you get injured. There's no recovery time. But if you got through the game, and I think all the Hawks girls did get through the game, looks like all the Nunawading girls got through. All the stars are here. Going to be a great game.
Indeed, it is. So just going through the regular season, Nunawading, they finished the season 12-8. They finished 6th on the ladder, but last night they beat Waverley very convincingly, I might add, 89-61. And they were led by Kathleen Shear. She had 21-7-7. Beck Pizzi with 16-7. Antoniadu 19-5-7. And Chelsea D'Angelo was 16-4-3. And we looked through their stats and we looked through their regular season statistics as well. This is a team with a lot of offensive firepower.
Look, and that game last night, that was over early. It was a 20-3 start, and they really closed Waverley out very, very quickly. Tegan Cunningham couldn't get going. A lot of the stars for Waverley were able to get a good feel for the game. Nunawading jumped on them. That thing was over, but what that's going to tell us is Ringwood need to be aware of that, and they need to start better today. They cannot get themselves into a hole like what they did at Geelong last night. Too many stars at Geelong, too many stars at Nunawading. If they get going, it's hard to get back into the game.
Indeed, almost polar opposite starts for both teams, because Ringwood last night, they made the trip down the highway to Geelong. They lost 78-63 against what is a very, very strong Geelong outfit when they've got all their stars playing. And as you said, they were playing catch-up ball from the very start, down 10 points early, and just couldn't quite fight their way back in. Of course, they struggled to defend the paint, which is something that they won't have as many issues with today, because this is not an overly big Spectres team.
No, it's not, but
a very good Spectres team.
Kathleen Shear is one of the stars of the league.
Indeed.
As is Maddie Garrick. So if they can do a good job on those two, keep them to reasonable numbers, they're going to be right in the game.
Shear averaging 15.5 points, 8.5 rebounds on the season. As the tip goes up, it's 1, and that was Maddie Garrick who pulled it down. She's averaging close to 20 points in what has been her short NBL1 career. And we are underway here at the Rings. Let's see if the Spectres can get away to a start like they did last night, or whether Ringwood can turn the tide on the way they started against Geelong. And there's an immediate interception to a player who used to play for Nunawading, Jackie Trotto.
Jackie Trotto's going to love this challenge, but there's a bad turnover by the Hawks. They can't turn the ball over, Matty. It was damaging to them last night.
Indeed, it was. It hurt them last night. They cannot make the same mistakes. Here's Garrett with the pull-up jumper, and that's all butter.
She's too good to be able to dribble into the foul line and pull up and shoot uncontested shots. Hawks are going to need to do a better job on those screens.
They're going to have to go over and show you a think on Garrick. She's so good at pulling up off the dribble. Didn't have a great game last night, but they managed to get the job done without her. Mullings with that patented step through, but a great block from Shear. Can defense turn to offense? Yes, it can for the Spectres. Great play from Kathleen Shear, and it's a 4-zip start.
Yeah, this is
what we were worried about.
This is what they can't afford, Matty. They've got to get something happening offensively now and stop turning the ball over.
Shear pushing Mullings out of the pick. Mullings this way, that way. Stops and pops, and another turnover, and here comes Garrick.
And they're away, another layup.
And I wouldn't be surprised if we get an early timeout from Tim Motton. Nothing yet, 6-zip, and this is almost identical to the start that Ringwood had last night.
You don't want to burn an early timeout because you only get 2 in the first half. So Tim Motton's going to actually sit there and try and see how the girls react. Hopefully they can score here and get themselves back into the game early.
Almost another turnover there. Up and in defence from the Spectres. Trotto went the rip through. There's a third turnover. And they're off to the races. It's 4 versus 2. Pull up, sheer from the elbow, and it's now 8-0.
Yeah, I think perhaps you need to do a timeout, Maddie. I think that they're going to roll with it, and hopefully they can settle themselves as they go. But this is a nightmare start for the Hawks on the back of what happened last night.
And the crowd just a little bit stunned at the moment. Here's Danny Bone. They get a shot attempt. No, she went the extra pass. It was tentative, and another turnover. Maybe a mid-court steal. Yes, it is for Mullings. She probably got fouled but managed to get away with it. Eventually the ball comes to Mahalko, that right-hand flick, and one that she normally makes with such ease.
And they're going to get the ball back.
And they're going to get the ball back. 14 seconds, so they're not resetting the shot clock to 24.
There is a complete lack of aggression and confidence in the Hawks team right at the moment. Danny Bone had a wide-open shot or a layup and chose to try and feed the ball into Mullings. They need to knuckle down now and get aggressive and start playing.
And Tony Farnworth has not really seen the ball. Here she is now for 3. Can she steady the ship? Not quite, but at least it was not a turnover. 4 so far in this game across both teams, 3 of those to Ringwood.
Tony Farnworth been struggling with a bit of an illness this week. Oh, it's a big shot.
She has come out all guns blazing, and Tim Motton has pulled the trigger for a timeout. 11-zip start to Nunawading, and they've come here ready to play and looking to progress to the next round of the NBL1 finals.
Yeah, mate, I was just saying that Farnsworth has been sick all week, and she didn't look great last night in Geelong, and they're going to need her to really turn it on in this game. And you know, she got a good early look there, just a bit short. Hopefully she can find her range, but this is a nightmare start for the Hawks. It's exactly what they didn't want to happen.
And you're right, Ken, it is a confidence thing at the moment. It looks like almost like a youth league team training up against a seniors team. They're just getting bullied a little bit at the moment.
Well, you know, here's what happens is, you know, you have a game last night where you lose a bit of confidence, you come out and the team comes out and jumps on you, and then you start to second guess what you're doing at both ends of the floor. So your head gets dropped. You know, Tim will be hopefully he's firing them up and trying to get them to be aggressive. There's a complete lack of aggression in their offensive play right now. No one's driving in trying to create contact or create for a teammate. Their offense is stuck on the perimeter, you know, they're making bad passes, turn the ball over, and that's sending Nunawading into early offense. And you know what? You're going to make a high percentage of shots if you're shooting layups in transition. And that's what they've done.
Funny about that.
They haven't not missed a shot yet, Nunawading. They are 5 from 5 from the field.
Ringwood 0 of 4, and I think it's also got something to do with that sheer block on Mullings at the start. Maybe flashbacks Ringwood to last night. Now they're into a 2-3 zone here, Nunawading. Interesting change up from head coach Paul Flynn. Mahalko. Here's Trotto. Garrick, such a great defender. Jeez, that's a risky pass. Bone gets the shot up. It was rushed. Ball's loose. Sheer. She's had a great start to this game. And away comes Atoniadu.
Yeah, Kathleen Shear, once she's on and firing, she's extremely dangerous, and she can turn this game, she can tear it apart. So the Hawks need to do something with her very, very quickly.
Here's Antoniadu. Ball into the post. Good defence from Jackie Trotto. Great help. Came over the top on Rebecca Pizzi.
May have been a bit lucky there, Pizzi. It might have came off her leg then.
3 seconds on the shot clock. Keep your eye out for the give and get back here from Maddie Garrick, or the lob to Kathleen Shear. Oh, it was none of them. It was the trick play. It caught me out as well. 13-zip start, and it was an Antoniadu who finished for 2.
That's why you're in the commentary box and on the coach's bench, Matthew. But what a great play from Nunawading.
So sticking in this 2-3 zone here. 13-0 start, and now it is a long way back for the Ringwood Hawks.
Well, the good thing about an early lead is there's a long time to get back in the game, and you know they're going to need to score to get themselves back feeling like they're part of the game.
Coaching 101, score the ball. Good defense from Mullings. Better offense from Shear. She got fouled, almost flipped it up and in, but will go to the line to shoot 2.
Now that's Mullings' first foul. She got herself in foul trouble last night.
Had 4 last night.
Which 2 of them were offensive fouls. One of them was a little bit unlucky, I think, but the Hawks cannot afford to get Mullings in foul trouble because she makes up a fairly big part of the team's offensive scoring, and she needs to put up 18, 20 points today for the Hawks to have a serious chance of of winning the game.
Missed the first there. Second is good. So Shear up to 6 points now with 2 rebounds and an assist. Great start from Kathleen Shear. 14-0 start now for the Nunawading Spectres. And they need a basket. Ringwood Hawks, they need something to get this crowd back into the game. Trotto. Offense is a bit all over the shop. Farnworth. And it's going to stay with Ringwood.
At least that there was some aggression offensively, and it was great to see Farnworth attack the basket, and that's what the Hawks need. They need to make something happen.
Ball gets into Trotto. Good look, but again short, almost just a little tentative. There's a lid on the basket at the moment for Ringwood. A
little bit rushed too, Matty. I think the Hawks are just they're a bit tense now, and they're starting to rush their offense.
And Mullings is going to get called for her second.
Now that's going to hurt. That's Mullings' second foul. She's going to have to go to the bench, and here comes Mine King to take her out. That is going to hurt the Hawks.
It will definitely hurt the Hawks, but the other thought is maybe it gives them a bit of a different look on offense, because at the moment, clearly, whatever they were doing wasn't quite working.
Well, 14-0 tells a story, Matty, so it's you're right.
So Trotto also to the bench, Spillane in for Jackie Trotto. Also now you've got Mine King on Shear. Interesting to see how that matchup plays. Good take, good defense from Danny Bone, and good enough defense, and eventually Mine King just wrestles the ball off her own teammate. Some good aggression. Was friendly fire, but that doesn't matter. Here's Mahalko.
Now the Hawks have got to get Mahalko going somehow. She was their shining light last night.
27 points last night, and here's Maddie Garrick. As easy as you like, and now it's 16-0. Maddie Garrick, who averages 2.2 steals per game on the season. And Kenny, this is getting ugly quick. There was almost another turnover. Mahalko for 3. Can she finally get the Hawks on the board? No, she can't. And it will go back the way of Nunawading.
It's one of those things, Matty. I mean, they just need to get something to the basket. See if you can get a foul, get some points on the scoreboard, and that'll relieve a bit of pressure for the Hawks, I think. This
is a different team to what the Hawks beat earlier on in the season at Nunawading as Maddie Garrick launches 3. It's 19-0. What a start for the Nunawading Spectres.
They might have to burn their second time out, Matty. It's
this game is getting out of their hands, grasp, reach, whatever you want to say, Ken.
Well, yeah, as I said, they just need to get something to happen offensively.
Spillane up and under. No, Bone. She was fouled.
Oh, there you go.
And it's going to be a sideline ball, so they're not even going to get to go to the free throw line.
It looked like she was trying to get a shot up then. She might have been a bit unlucky.
When things don't go your way, Kenny, they really don't go your way.
No, that's right. I think...
nobody's going to inbound the ball.
I think everyone's confused. They all think it's foul shots.
And they are. Everybody's confused. And the umpire is like a stone statue pointing to the sideline. Not a bit of emotion there from
Not at all. This is where the ball's coming in from.
Danny Bone down to Farnworth. There's Shear in the paint. Mine King. Tough pass to Mahalko. Got to get it over. It's a good look. Couldn't get it free. Spillane couldn't come down with the rebound. Pizzy wanted a foul over the back. Didn't get it. Score is 19-0. Good hands from Mine King. There's the double. And good help from Farnworth. So now a bit of aggression on defense. And it's a better showing from the Ringwood Hawks. Will that spark them? Danny Bone. Got to shoot that. Cannot get it to go. Mahalko in the paint. She got blocked by Pizzy, but it was a foul. And now Cassidy Mahalko will go to the line looking to get Ringwood on the board at the free throw line.
We have a really nice crowd in here, and they're dying to get involved in the game. But when you start out 0-19, it's hard for the hometown fans to help you out. But hopefully Cassidy can knock these two down and get the Hawks offense rolling.
Coach Flynn makes a substitution. On comes Sarah Slater. Off goes Beck Pizzy. And finally, the Ringwood Hawks are on the scoreboard.
You could actually hear the glad wrap snap as that ball went through the basket, Matty, so that's going to help them out.
It expanded from a teacup to a normal-sized ring. 19-2. Will that spark a mini comeback here from the Hawks? But what a beginning it's been from the Nunawading Spectres. Little three-player game there. Good defense and another stop, and it's been the aggression on defense, Ken.
Absolutely. They've really lifted their intensity defensively. Now, if they can do that offensively like they are now, that's a bad miss for Amanda. But they're back on it.
Mahalko, and it's the hustle. The intensity has stepped up a notch now from Ringwood. They've been snapped awake. Can they make an impact on the scoreboard? Garrick, such a good defender. Spillane shoots 3, and it looked good. Followed orange shot, but couldn't quite get the rebound. Tony Ardu's on down the wing. Bone now guarding Garrick. Shear thought about the 3. She'll want to take Mind King off the dribble. A little bit of a fend off there, and it's going to be called a travel on D'Angelo.
I think Nunawading's big guns have all started the game well with, Maddie Garrick has 7 points and Kath Shear has 6. D'Angelo has 4, so their big guns are right in the game. The Hawks need to get Mahalko, Mind King, Farnworth, these types to get going.
Bone with the little pull-up jumper. Went and got her own board almost, but missed it. At least there's some aggression out there, but again, Nunawading continue to find a way to get stops. Geez, that was almost a moving screen. She has Farnworth on her, and it was out of bounds. And geez, we see that a lot, Ken. We talk about it almost every week, stepping out of court on the baseline.
I know it's your big bugbear.
It is.
But it's just footwork. You've got to have your foot step into a shot. You shouldn't step backwards into a shot or a drive. It's just a footwork issue with players. And
in comes Rachel Brewster. Geez, it's not a bad play to come having in off the bench. Rachel Brewster, of course, had a impressive college career. There's Farnworth with the pull-up, and geez, nothing's going. She probably could have got called for a foul. It was a good rebound from Mind King.
Mind King's been terrific since she's come into the game.
Farnworth for 3. That would be huge, and geez, she does look tired. She looks like she has battled illness throughout the week there, Ken.
Yeah, Tony's got to get that. If she can get that shot going, the Hawks can get themselves back into the game.
Here's Brewster, guarded by Bone at the top, and eventually comes out to Garrick. Shear. And that is a poor pass. So the defense has stepped up for Ringwood, and a little bit of a hole on the basket now for Nunawading. A lid, I should say. There is always a hole on the basket for Nunawading. They haven't scored since the 4:39 mark. So in terms of their hot start, it just dried up a little bit, but they still lead by 17 points.
Yeah, unfortunately the Hawks haven't been able to take advantage of it, Maddie, and score the ball.
Here's Mahalko, back to Bone. That's her shot. And she gets it. Danny Bone gets 3. And now it's back to a 14-point ball game. So we might have a game on our hands here at the Rings. A little fight back now from the Hawks. They've scored the last 5 points of the game. Maddie Garrick wide open. You cannot leave her wide open, and that shooting stroke is sweet. Well,
that's 10 points for Maddie Garrick in the first quarter. I mean, she's shooting a 40-point game right now. Hawks have to do something with her.
Mahalko, pull up. Gee, she had to really lob it over Shear, and Shear was called for the foul. Just her first personal, so no issues there at the moment. Of course, the winner of this game goes on to play Kilsyth next week.
They do on Saturday night. Now, there's an interesting mentality that goes with big leads early, Matty, is, if the Hawks can actually get themselves back into the game and get this thing into single figures, it puts a lot of pressure on the team that now thinks we can't lose. We had this big lead. So the Hawks have just got to plug away. The good thing about getting behind early is you have 3 quarters to get back into the game.
To get back into the game, no doubt about that. And Maddie Garrick, just worth noting, she's already outscored her performance from last night. So she only had 9 points against Waverley last night in what was a huge win for the Spectres. So she's come here refreshed and ready to go. Inside the final minute of the first quarter, here is Garrick. She's feeling it at the moment. Step back. Oh, that's butter. Oh, that is sweet from Maddie Garrick. She's up to 13, and she is feeling it right now.
She's on fire, and the Hawks are going to have to do something because she's shooting step-back threes and they're nothing but net.
And that wasn't horrendous defense, but you almost have to double her to get it out of her hands. Here's Farnworth. Looking to lob the ball into Mind King. There was a lot of contact there. Nothing called. And there's inside now 30 seconds. Here's Brewster.
The Hawks have got to find
Garrick's
Garrick.
open on the wing. You're right, Ken.
She's going to shoot this.
Unselfish.
Great pass.
And another great pass. And Caitlin Shear and one. That is fantastic play. And it started with Maddie Garrick. That's just smart IQ there on the basketball court.
Well, you knew that Garrick was going to be ready after just having 9 points last night, Maddie, and she's come out and she's having a really, really big game.
And that shows the level of professionalism, because I think everybody in this stadium thought she was going to pull up again. She made the extra pass. It got around eventually to Kathleen Shear, I apologise, and she finished the 2. Long pass, and it's another turnover, the 5th now. So 11 turnovers in the game 5 of those to Ringwood, and remarkably 6 now to Nunawading. 6 seconds. They've got to double team Garrick for mine. Here's Garrick. Good defense, Mine King. Brewster chucks up a prayer, no good. But what a first quarter for the Nunawading Spectres. 27-7. An incredible beginning to them. They lead by 20 points after 1. We're going to have a short break, and we'll be back with the second quarter. Hello and welcome back to the Rings. Thank you for joining us. If you missed the first quarter, well, you missed one hell of a quarter from the Nunawading Spectres. My name's Matt Hickey. I'm joined by Ken Harrington. Ken, 27-7 lead to Nunawading. And have a look at the shooting numbers for the Ringwood Hawks.
Well, I've never seen a stat like this, Matty. Nunawading shot the ball at 85% from the field, 11 from 13, while Ringwood were 1 from 18. So that's
1 from 18.
That's 6% as opposed to 85%. That's how you get down by 20 points in a game of basketball.
And 0 of 13 from the inside the arc. So they've only made their one field goal was a 3. 0 of 13 from 2-point range.
Nunawading 4 of 5, 80% from the 3-point line. Their worst shootings come from the foul line. They're 1 of 3. What's going on there? But Matty Garrick, 13 points was amazing.
2 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals in there as well.
Kath Shear, 8 points, 2 rebounds,
3 assists and 2 blocks.
D'Angelo,
remarkably, 4. Nunawading have 1 more turnover than the Ringwood Hawks do.
You could not script a worse quarter for Ringwood with one of their main players, Mullings, on the bench with 2 fouls, unable to get into the game, and 1 out of 18 from the field. We wouldn't be able to diagram it in the worst Hollywood movie.
You would not. This is, well, the script is set up and written for them if they can come back and somehow get a miraculous win, but all credit to the Nunawading Spectres as Mahalko makes a 3, and that's a much, much better start. They've already scored the same amount of field goals that they did in the first quarter in the first 15 seconds of the second.
Well pointed out, Matthew.
The Spectres have been so good here to start this game. Can they keep it up? Boy, she can shoot that, and buries it.
The Hawks are trying to play some zone, but they're just leaving some gaps, and Nunawading are feeling it today. I don't know how long they can stay in that zone and allow those guys just to shoot open threes. They're too good today.
Tessa Boyd can shoot that 3. Mullings attacks hard, drew the contact and finished it. They've doubled their field goal tally from the first quarter, Ken.
Yeah, well, again, I think that this had to happen. At least they're aggressive. Great to see Mullings attacking the basket.
And finishing through contact. Here's Boyd. Ball gets lobbed into Shear. Touch pass to Garrick. Could kick it back out to Boyd. Extra pass to Slater. Nice up fake. Good. And Mine King, she's so big she doesn't have to jump at that.
No, Mine King just needs to have her hand up. Just keep her feet and try and move back and make him shoot over the top of her. Going up, jumping on a pump fake's no good.
Sarah Slater formerly played with Danny Knight and joined the Nunawading Spectres. Here's Mullings, step through. Not quite, and Shear just does a great job of impacting the shot. Garrick, she looks a class above to everybody else out there on the floor. Shear for 3 on the trail, if you don't mind. And the party continues for the Nunawading Spectres.
You know you're going well when you hit a 3 and you start smiling to your teammates, and Nunawading feel $1 million at the moment, and they can't miss.
23-point lead, would you believe it? 13 of 15 from the field, 5 of 6 from deep. Danny Bone for 3. Mullings, great rebound. Up and in, probably got fouled. No call, she finished it. And maybe a bit of hip-on-hip contact there. She's come up a little bit sore.
At least the Hawks are starting to score. They're starting to get into the game offensively, but they need to do something down this end of the floor pretty quickly because, you know, this is a lot of points for this stage of the game.
Boyd for 3 more. She's already got 1 3 and she's got another. She's lights out. You got to read the scouting report. 38-14.
7 from 8 they are from the three-point line. It's a remarkable shooting performance by Nunawading.
This has got to be one of the best starts we have seen in this competition all year, if not the best start. Mahalko for 3. She couldn't get it to go. Mullings is fighting. She is passionate out there, and she wants back into this game. Mullings, extra pass to Bone, hesitated. Farnworth, can she get going? No, quite. Ball loose. Mullings again comes up with it. The intensity's there for Ringwood, but the execution not quite.
Well, here's a good look for Cassidy, but this is the difference. They're both getting good looks.
Another offensive rebound.
But Nunawading are making their open looks and Ringwood are missing them. That's basically the story of the game.
Mullings says she'll shoot a 3, because why not? And I think she just banked it in.
Well, why not? If you're going to get one in, might as well bank it in, Maddie. We'll take
Here's
that.
Boyd running downhill. She's made 2 threes already in this quarter. Garrick. Oh, that was special. $1 million move, but the 5-cent finish.
Hint of a travel on that one. Just a hint of a travel.
0 step, Kenny. 0 step.
But we don't call travels much anymore in basketball.
That's why we changed the rules.
You get 3 steps, but great move.
Farnworth. Again, the pushing out of the on-ball screens. Not sure if that's technically legal, but why not? Mahalko couldn't get it to go, but she'll shoot 2.
Well, again, the Hawks have become more aggressive offensively. They're driving to the basket. They're getting to the foul line. But as we spoke about, the problem's now defensively for the Hawks. Nunawading getting open threes. They're making them at 88% from the three-point line. So whatever the Hawks are doing is not working. Perhaps maybe some full-court pressure. Try and increase the speed of the game. Sometimes you just got to try and do things just to change the flow of the game, and that's what Tim Motton and his coaching staff down there will be talking about.
Mahalko goes to the line, and that's one area of the game that the Ringwood Hawks have been actually decent at the moment. 5 of 5 from the free throw line with that one. And I may have just put the Moz on, and yes, I have. There you go.
Yeah.
18-40 at the moment as Boyd and Garrick both take a rest, and what a start for Boyd in the limited minutes in the second quarter. And also Maddie Garrick gets a well-deserved rest. She's got 13 points and 3 assists, 2 rebounds to chuck in there as well.
I'm pretty sure the Ringwood girls wouldn't mind seeing Maddie Garrick sitting over there on the bench.
15 of 18 at the moment, the Nunawading Spectres. That Maddie Garrick missed just their 3rd of the game. And there's a foul, and a relatively soft one considering what's going on mid-court and in the paint, but a foul nonetheless, and will result in 2 free throws for Nunawading.
The Hawks' field goal percentage is shot up to 19%.
It's a long way back from 6, isn't it, Kenny?
2 of...
Slater goes off, Pizzy comes on.
2 of 16 from the 2-point line, and 3 of 11. So they're taking a
Just
lot of
need
threes.
to shoot more threes. They're shooting 27% from deep.
Well, they have shot plenty of them, mate. They're 3 of 11. 83% from the foul line is good. And the Hawks have stopped turning the ball over as much, so that's probably a good thing. So they are getting more looks offensively.
It's the small wins. And the second is good. And Ella Ogier getting her first minutes slightly later than I would expect her to in the past. She's started on occasions, came in early. But in goes Ella Ogier.
Well, Ella had a terrific game about 2 weeks ago where she came off the bench and had a quick 10 or 12 points and turned the game. If she could bring that again, that would be very timely.
Here's Bone. She just launches a 3. No hesitation, and she got it. Big shot from Danny Bone.
Such a nice-looking 3-ball. She's got that thing comes off her
Smooth
fingers
release.
nice. Gets her feet set, and she's really, really good with that shot.
Ogier now mismatched down low, but she did a great job. She looking a little bit tired. Almost a travel from Ogier, and it was. Wasn't expecting to get that pass. 21-42 at the moment. Now, I've got an interesting thing for you, Ken. Something we're seeing creeping into the game more and more. Defenders pushing out offensive players when they're going to set a screen so they're unable to set the screen. To me, it looks illegal.
Well, it is illegal, but if you don't do it, your other team does. That's another quick foul on the Hawks. Look, to be honest, we instruct our players to do it because you want on-ball screens set as far away from the three-point line.
Of course, if they're not going to call it, then...
Because you don't want players to be able to come off screens and be able to shoot, so you need to nudge it as deep on the floor as you can. We do it,
yeah,
and everyone else does it.
If they're not going to call it, there's no reason as to why you wouldn't do it. But from a viewer's perspective, it's just a bit of an ugly look, I think, because players aren't even allowed to move out of the court without getting pushed around. You should be able to get to, what spot you want to.
No, it's a good point. Good defensive effort from the Hawks there. They at least contesting shots now.
So lead is 21. Mullings, she's been in the key for a little while. Eventually gets out Bone. She's looking to heat up. She couldn't make it. Steal maybe from Ozier. Good pressure. Almost got it again. And called the foul. I think that was late. I think they should have missed the first and then have picked up the second.
Yeah,
but a second personal for Ozier. I don't think Motton will be too unhappy with that, just as long as she's being aggressive. I don't think he expects to play her too many minutes, but looking to have an impact off the bench.
No, that's right.
Good effort from Mahalko. Bone was right there, but good effort from Cassidy Mahalko.
I think when you come off the bench, you roll. We've got a timeout here called by Nunawading. I think when you come off the bench as a bench player, your responsibility is to come in and inject some life and some energy into the team. Ella's done that, which is great. If she has a couple of fouls doing that, maybe she creates a couple of steals, changes the momentum of the game, and that's what you want from your people coming off the bench.
21-42, the Nunawading Spectres dominating so far through this first half. And while we've got the second, a quick shout out to a few of NBL1 sponsors, of course, Bunnings Warehouse and Spalding on board. So thank you to them. And what a fantastic year it's been for the NBL1, the inaugural year. And what a fantastic competition they put on so far. And then a few sponsors here at the Ringwood Hawks. And Ken, a great mate of ours, Luke Brodie, down at Optus Stud Park. He is the man to go to if you're looking for anything telecommunications. Now,
Luke Brodie will do the best deals in Victoria for anyone.
He's a good man, Luke Brodie.
Who needs a mobile phone or an iPad or whatever you need. Luke Brodie at Optus Stud Park will do the best deals. I've got this phone.
Oh,
Thank
geez,
you, Luke.
Have a look. It's an absolute beauty as well, Ken.
It's his top of the range. The coaches get looked after very well. Also, the beautiful pizzas from Original Joe's. Shout out to them. And, if you want to send one up, I'd be okay with that.
I know, we're just rolling into a nice bit of afternoon tea. Maybe I didn't have much lunch, so...
Well, I didn't have any lunch.
Oh, just working hard, Ken.
That's what I do.
Standard for you, working far too hard.
That's what I do, Matthew.
Back here at the rings, and it's a miss from Nunawading, and it's almost a bit of a shock when they do miss a shot, no matter how tough it is. Trotto with the pull-up. Just left it short. Ozier, great job. Probably got the ball stolen out of her hands, maybe against the rules. But anyways, it was good job from Pizzy. Good help from Bone, who copped a forearm to the face. But it was good defence and right idea from the Nunawading Spectres.
Just a really interesting period of the game now, Matty. I mean, if the Hawks can actually put some points on the board, they may try and get this thing back to about 10 or 12 at half-time, which is manageable.
It will make for an interesting second half, no doubt about that. Here's Shear. Good defence from Bone. Great defence from Bone. Shear still in the paint. Misses another one. And Mahalko comes down with it.
Good defensive effort on the boards by the Hawks.
They can go now. They'll have a 5-on-4. Shear almost laughing. They get it down to Mahalko. She finishes for two. Kathleen Shear, she's out and struggling at the moment.
She looks a bit stunned. She didn't get that foul, but she's going to have to suck that up and keep playing.
There was plenty of contact down there as Gary pulls up with another one. Not quite. And the smallest player on the court, D'Angelo, almost came up with the board. It's going to be a jump ball. It'll stay Nunawading ball.
Kathleen Shear is struggling a little bit after that. She put her hands on her knees, just taking a couple of moments just to suck in some big breaths. I think she might be a bit sore after that one.
And Nunawading fans, you'll be pleased to hear that the Youth League men have won Game 1 of the Grand Final Series of the Big V Youth Championship Division by a convincing margin over an Eltham team that had a terrific season. So impressive work. It's been all Nunawading today, that's for sure. Maybe a bit of a flop from Matty Garrick, but Mullings goes again. And this game is getting interesting, Ken Harrington.
Well, it's just interesting to see if they call a flop warning on that. I mean, they've been pretty big on that call most of the season.
Has to be a foul or a flop warning, one of the two.
This would be now where they would call a flop warning. They tend to do it at the next break of play. Is there a flop warning coming? No, there is not.
There was a little word to Matty Garrick, but no official warning.
Well, it's it's either a charge or a flop warning or a foul. So
one of them. So this game now back to 17 points. And the defense is where it's starting for Ringwood. Ball down to Shear. Don't be surprised if there's a foul call there, but no, she didn't take it. That came short. That was blocked. And Malco had eyes for the ball. So here come the Ringwood Hawks. We knew they had to fight back in them. They had too good of a season to not fight back. Mullings has been dominant. Ogier for 3. And it's sweet. What a big shot. And Coach Paul Flynn not looking too happy. Shouting some instructions to his players because we're back to a 14-point ball game. Garrick. Maybe a little push off. Maybe another one. Mahalko switches. Good defense. Good team defense. They go over and show on the screen. Tough look. Great job from the Ringwood Hawks. Not long left. D'Angelo's got to get a shot up. And that was a foul from Ogier, and it was a bailout.
No. They did such a great job. There was 1 second left on the shot clock, and just try and keep your hands out, keep your body out. That was going to be a really difficult shot, but now they've bailed her out, and that's going to be 2 shots to D'Angelo.
So Ogier now, I believe, up to 3 personal fouls. Scoreboard here says 2. No, now it is moved on to 3. So 3 personal fouls for Ogier.
Real opportunity here, Matty. I mean, they're down 14.
Get this back to 10, as you mentioned.
Right, and then it's a ball game. Then it's a completely different ball game.
So she really unhappy with some of the treatment. She's getting down low, but the ref's not obliging and not calling anything down there in the paint at the moment. So sticking in this zone, here's Mullings. Gee, she's been good. That is a bullet pass. Eventually got to Bone. That is a deep triple from Danny Bone. Mullings with the rebound. Maybe got fouled, blocked from Pizzy, but stood out of bounds from D'Angelo.
But look, the effort from Megan there was unbelievably good. She's working those boards. Megan has 6 rebounds now, so that's a good effort. She's doing a job inside for the girls.
Trotto with a little push there, couldn't get through. And one thing you've noticed, this little comeback from Ringwood, and the Spectres not overly happy with some of the treatment they're getting from officials. And it may have something to do with the fact this game's just got a little bit tighter.
Yeah, a little bit more physical. The Hawks are actually being a bit more aggressive, so the game changes the way it's getting played.
Geez, they move the ball so well, and it results in a good look for D'Angelo, and now a timeout for Tim Motton. And not a bad one. I don't mind this. Lead jumps back out to 17. And then you've got a minute and a half, and it's a big minute and a half in terms of the momentum of the game, Ken.
Yeah, that was a beautiful move by D'Angelo as well, just when they needed it. The whole game, the momentum changed, and the Hawks were looking to, hopefully get that thing back to 10, but Nunawading have balanced and got that thing out to 17. So, veteran, smart players are finding a way to score for Nunawading, and, the Hawks need to plug away. Still a minute 37 left in this quarter, just before half-time. They'll have a chance to... hopefully score once or twice, get a stop, get this lead back to something manageable. 12-13 probably is manageable.
It gives you a sniff at least. And Megan Mullings, she has been the catalyst here in this second quarter. 11 points, 6 rebounds. Fantastic after some early foul trouble, and has managed to avoid picking up her third. Maddie Garrick still sitting on 13. Sheer 11. D'Angelo up to 9 for the Nunawading Spectres. And again, quick opportunity. And Ken, you know a lot about this program, the Bendigo Bank, their community program in the schools. It's been fantastic so far this year.
Look, those programs where our imports visit the schools are probably the most popular programs in Maroondah and the Ringwood area, and so proud of the work that we do with thanks to the Bendigo Bank in Ringwood. They provide us with basketballs to give the kids with their logo and the Ringwood Hawks logo, and we've given out probably 2,000 rubber basketballs to the kids of Ringwood. Really proud of that program.
No doubt about that, as you should be. Fantastic work from Ringwood and the Bendigo Bank. Here's Ogier. Good catch. Step through on Shear. Not a bad move. Got the separation, and geez, Kathleen Shear, she's angry at the moment. 28-45. Even when she pulled down that rebound, there was a bit of venom there. Here's D'Angelo wanting to get it down to Pizzy. Malco's got to be careful. That was always going to be called a foul. The officials were waiting for it, and it was always going to be called, Ken.
It was. Cassie just probably needed to get around in front. I think the post-up that Pizzy got there was too close to the basket, and Cassie probably needed to try and get around in front of her and try and push her out that way. She's too good to get that close.
Farnworth, big rebound. So 5-zip the scoring run at the moment for Nunawading, and it's just steadied the ship for them because the Ringwood Hawks were really coming back. Ogier's open on the wing. Tough pass on the inside to Farnworth. She is such a big interior defender, but when she goes and challenges a shot, it leaves Mullings open to rebound the ball, and we've seen that about 3 times in the last 5 minutes.
Yeah, Mullings has really lifted her output here, and she's actually got the Hawks somewhat back into the game, which is what they needed.
17-point game, a big possession here. Here's Garrick. Extra pass will come to D'Angelo. Hesitated. Got a good ball into Pizzy,
Great
and that's
pass.
just classic basketball there, Ken.
Yeah, that's
Penetrating dish.
a great drive, great kick, good ball movement, and unselfish play, and Nunawading have done everything right in this first half.
Ringwood, I mean, the option's there to hold for 1, but they're probably just going to take any look that they can get at the moment because they trail by 19 points. Farnworth going to Mullings, gave it back to Farnworth, now to Bone. She shoots the 3. That always looks strong. Ball loose, cannot foul now Ringwood because they Nunawading are in the bonus. Here's D'Angelo for 3. That's came up short. Maddie Garrick, she's done everything. Geez, that's a tough shot. Geez, that's a tough shot. And Maddie Garrick says, count the points. What a way to finish the quarter for Nunawading. And what a start it has been for the Spectres. 51-30 after a half of basketball. We're going to take a break, and we will be back with the second half. Hello and welcome back to the Rings, and there's plenty to chat about, which is why we're just jumping back into this one. We've got about 5 minutes before we get tipped off for the second half, and my name is Matt Hickey. If you're just joining us, I'm joined by Ken Harrington, and Ken, Ringwood could be in a little bit of strife here because we've just had a draw for a three-quarter time shootout. An NBL1 star guard, Tom Wright from Nunawading, has won. He's going to bankrupt the place, Kenny.
Well, we played against Tom probably about 6 weeks ago, and I don't remember him missing. So I hope we're not giving away too many expensive prizes today, because Tom might be going home with a bountiful.
Interesting, and on a little bit of that topic, and it's in relation. Tom Wright, of course, played in the 3-on-3 for Australia, and out there also Maddie Garrick, who has started 15 points, finished that first half with an excellent fadeaway jumper. She also played in that 3-on-3 competition. What do you think it adds to a player's skill set in terms, because it seems they come back with a lot of toughness and an increased ability to guard one-on-one?
They come back with a belief. I mean, I think 3-on-3 basketball is very much an individual, one-on-one type of basketball where you've got to be able to create a shot. You've got to be able to get past your man. And in 5-on-5 basketball, it's very much the same. Eventually you run your offenses, but eventually someone has to go and finish the play, or they have to get past their man to create an opportunity to score, whether it be a perimeter shot or a layup. And, Maddie's come back and she's just looking aggressive. And the Hawks have had no answer for her. 15 points in the first half. Kath Shear has 11 points, 4 rebounds.
And a lot of that in the first quarter, I might add, from Shear as well.
Well, I mean, the shooting percentage has come down. And my God, it had to, because it was about 83 at quarter time. But Nunawading is still 65% from the field, which is really unheard of. And Ringwood are 25%, which, whilst it doesn't sound great, it was a lot better than the 6% they had in the first quarter. And
we continue to mention it, but remarkably, Nunawading actually have more turnovers than the Ringwood Hawks. Another thing I'd like to point out on that 3-on-3 comp, the players coming back, you very rarely see them fall asleep on defense or getting back in defensive transition, because it's a game where as soon as you score, you have to find your player. Immediately, because the other team can quickly go back out and then in again. And if you're sleeping, they're going to take full advantage. So those players, I feel like that defensive awareness has also steps up a notch from playing 3-on-3.
Well, they're also great players. I mean, Maddie Garrick and Tom Wright are outstanding basketball players, and 3-on-3, 4-on-4, 5-on-4, 5-on-5, 1-on-1. They're going to be outstanding at all aspects of the game. And
Tony Farnworth, of course, also played for New Zealand. Some 3-on-3 basketball for New Zealand. She did, and Tony's had a quiet game today, unfortunately, and we know that she'd been crook all week, and she struggled last night and probably went straight home to bed and fluids and turned up today. But, the season's going to be over, so hopefully she can find something in the second half for the Hawks. This is a big statement half, I think, for the Ringwood Hawks. They entered this competition, and I think when everybody looked at Ringwood, they thought the men may surprise some people, but the women were really going to struggle, and that was based off previous successes. But it's been a bit of a vice versa. The men had an up and down year that didn't quite go to plan, as of course you are aware. The women have surprised some people. 15-5 surprised a lot. I think they were the surprise packets of the entire season. No doubt. Now, if they leave the playoffs with 2 10-plus point losses in concession, that's a quick exit, and you've got to feel it takes away a little bit from the fantastic season that they've had. No, I wouldn't say that, Matty. I mean, I think, there's two things here. There's the regular season where you battle week in and week out, and you don't get 15-5 by luck. Of course. And they've done that playing together as a team. Unfortunately, this weekend, they haven't played their best basketball. We haven't seen their best. I just think that they deserve better for the season and effort that they've put in. You'd like to think the other part of finals basketball is that you have to play to win championships, you've got to play your best basketball come finals time. It's not about the best team all year, it's about the best team. No, it's not. And the team that finishes on top doesn't necessarily always win. In fact, not very often does the team that finishes on top win the championship. So it's about playing your best basketball at the right time of the season and getting hot when you need to get hot. Going down to Geelong and playing against Geelong down there in that environment with the talent they've got,
was always going to be a difficult process, and then they've had to jump in their car, come back and suit up against a really talented Nunawading team who are playing great, and that's a 21-point game. But I understand what you were saying, but I don't think that what they've done is going to diminish if they don't win today. But we'd like to see them play better.
Indeed. I don't think it will diminish either. I just believe maybe in the eyes of some doubters pre-season, they might find themselves a little bit more justified in that doubt if it's an early exit for the Ringwood Hawks, which I don't believe in because, again, they've had a terrific season, but that's just the line that I was going down there.
No, and I understand that. And look, there's always haters out there, and people are going to say things, and they're going to, blah, blah, this and that. But it doesn't matter. They went 15-5. They beat a lot of really high-caliber teams that they weren't expected to beat. They finished third. We're really proud of them at the club. We were hoping that they would play well today. So far, they haven't played well, but there's got 20 more minutes.
20 more minutes.
And hopefully they can make a run.
20 more minutes. The game is still on the line. This one not over yet. Ringwood Hawks will restart. They need a big second half. They trail by 21 at the moment, but they've got 20 minutes now to turn things around. Nunawading, can they keep up? Farnworth immediately getting aggressive. She comes up short. Good defence from Maddie Garrett.
Well, at least she was aggressive. She got something going to the basket. There was a hint of a foul there, but, it's a physical game and you've got to play through that stuff.
He's Pizzy at the top. Ball comes off to Toniardo. Good defence. Now it comes to Garrick. Oh, I was about to say, geez, that would really hurt Ringwood to start the second half, but she missed. Mahalko now.
Now the Hawks really need to play well early in this quarter. A 21-point lead, it's a long, long way back, and time's going to be their enemy, so they need to start scoring and getting some stops.
Danny Bone with a fader. Jackie Trotto, great rebound. Went up, missed it, almost got it back, but a great rebound from D'Angelo.
Yeah, good hard work by Jackie, but she probably would have been better off served if she had kicked that out to the perimeter, and the Hawks set themselves up again.
The aggression and intent is there. It at least has been since the start of the second quarter. And flopping warning called on Megan Mullings.
So, well, you've got to be, if you're going to call flop warnings, you've got to be consistent with it. So that's one of my bugbears.
His Mullings was very good. Fired a pass. It hit Pizzy in the face. Eventually they got it back. Garrick, good find. And Toniardo.
Horror start for the Hawks again, Matty.
It's a bit of a replay of the first quarter.
Can't do this again. If they want to get back in the game, they can't be turning the ball over, and they've got to be getting back in transition D.
55-30, so 25.60 run here for the Spectres. Here's Mahalko. She shoots the three. She had space, not a bad look. But again, the offense just struggling a little bit for Ringwood. Well, struggling a lot, shooting under 25% from the field.
Bit stagnant too, Matty. They're just one pass and someone's looking to try and score.
Compare that to Nunawading, who are just zipping the ball around. 3 more. And this now balloons out to 28 points. And you look at the assist numbers, 18-7 after that 3. And that is just a sign of the offense that the Nunawading Spectres are playing.
I see over at the bench the Hawks are looking to bring in Nahara Ravakuma to try and give the Hawks a bit of energy in the point guard spot. Maybe try and increase the speed of the game.
So substitution, that is Nahara Ravakuma on Tony Farnworth off. And it's been a tough afternoon for Farnworth, yet to get on the board.
I don't think Tony's feeling that well. I mean, I don't know. You need her in the game. She must not be feeling well if she's coming out this early in the third.
Trotto, she's nothing going at the moment, but you've also got to credit the Spectres' defence. It's been spectacular so far today. Pull up 3, Garrick. Oh no, she faked everybody out in the building, and it was a beautiful find to Pizzy for 2.
What a great catch by Pizzy too. She must have eyes in the back of her head, Matty, because I don't think she saw it until the ball was in her hands.
I think that one would have hit me in the back of the head just quietly. Trotto just got the ball ripped away from her, and it's going to be a foul on Trotto. And the lead now 30 points, so doubling their score 60-30, and it's getting a little bit ugly at the moment, Ken.
Yeah, I think it's getting to the point where it's just becoming too big of a hole for the Hawks, but they need to keep plugging away. They just need to keep working hard. Just can't let this go. Can't drop their heads and lose by 40 or 50. That would be a shame.
Here's Garrick. What a pick up from the Spectres, of course. Picked her up late in the season. And she's been a huge difference maker for them. Pizzi, Antoniadu, she can shoot that three, and oh, it's nothing but net. And it's a 16-0 run for the Nunawading Spectres. And Tim Motton, understandably, has seen enough. It is a 33, I should say, point lead to Nunawading. And Ken, what on earth could you say if you were Coach Tim Motton?
Well, maybe we leave Ringwood alone and we talk a little bit about Nunawading, because
indeed, what a game they've played.
After what they did last night to Waverley and the way they're shooting the ball and moving the ball offensively and defensively, shutting teams down, at Nunawading, are they a serious chance to win this whole thing?
If they play this kind of basketball and this brand of basketball, I couldn't see why not. If you look at what Geelong dished up, again, the paint might be a little bit of a worry for Nunawading, but if they're running and gunning like this, geez, they're hard to guard, and the ball is zipping around. 20 assists is the number that I'm really interested in, and that's a sign of the ball movement. That's so hard to guard.
Well, we're not going to worry about what's happening inside the paint if you're shooting 60% on threes, which is what they're doing.
They got shooters scattered everywhere.
And like it's not just one player too. It's 2 or 3 or 4 of them that are just nailing everything that's open.
And bench players as well.
And look, everybody thought Bendigo was going to be the team that were going to run away with the championship. Then Kilsyth go in there and show everybody that you can go into Bendigo and you can beat them, and they beat them comfortably. And now you got a team like Nunawading who looks $1 million today.
Indeed they do, and I tell you what, if they play like this for the rest of the playoffs, you've got to have them on top at the moment as the favourites for the championship, because they are just looking so hard to guard, and their defence is good, and that's a late foul call. Plus, you've got a shot maker in the form of Matty Garrick, where if the game's on the line and you need someone to either make a shot to tie, win the game, or just stop the flow of the opposition offense, gee, she's a gun to have there.
Yeah, if your offense stagnates, you just give it to Maddie and she'll go and create a good shot.
And she's got the IQ to make the extra pass. Is not just going to look for her own shot, of course. Dishing the ball very well as Spillane falls over Ravi Kumar. Bone, back to Ravi Kumar. She'll shoot 3. Not a bad look. But it's D'Angelo who comes away with the rebound. And here is Garrick, and what a game she's had. 17 points, 4 rebounds, 5 assists, 3 steals. She thought about the 3. She was looking down at her feet. Good entry pass to Pizzi. And the assists and the points continue to flow for the Nunawading Spectres.
Yeah, the Nunawading ball movement so well, they created a mismatch. Mahelko ended up on Pizzi. Pizzi just caught it, just scored right over the top of her.
Spillane up and under, caught one of the face, but then got the shot blocked. And Spillane saying, I caught one in the face, did you not see that? They must have missed it. And in comes Tessa Boyd, and interestingly, this is a player that we really haven't seen a whole lot of, but came in, nailed 2 threes, and is another weapon for the Spectres off the bench.
Yeah, what a great young player she is, and, this is why that they've got a real chance of actually winning a championship, I think, because they've got talent all the way down the bench.
Mullings, good pass to Bone, and that's when Ringwood looked their best. She missed the shot, but when they're moving off the ball, geez, they look a lot better. But you talk about Boyd. She played 5 minutes, scored 6 points and had an assist. And it's going to be 2 free throws coming for Nunawading. So you've got to play like that. They're just going to have an immediate impact. Doesn't have to warm to the occasion at all. Can just get on, find her shot and get going. And, geez, it's a well-oiled machine for Nunawading.
Yeah, look, there's 2 ends of the floor here today, Maddie, and Ringwood are really struggling at both ends. They can't put the ball in the hole at one end, and that's setting off Nunawading offensively in transition, where they can make 2, 3, 4 passes and get a wide open look. And, they're shooting the ball at 60, 70, 75% at times during this whole game. And it's been delightful to watch, to be honest.
Indeed, it has. And pure basketball. And Maddie Garrick, well, she was on track for a 40-point game, we mentioned at one point. But the defense stepped up on her, but that hasn't slowed Nunawading down. They've just got so many offensive weapons. And 2 points for Mullings, and what a good season she has had. And what a good, impressive game after some early foul trouble.
So Nunawading is still shooting the ball at 67%, which is remarkable, at this stage of the game.
Just 21 now for Ringwood, slightly better after that make from Mullings, who she's going to get called for another foul here. Both teams, they were going for the ball, and a slight giggle from Mullings. She's up to 15 points, so a good night for her, but almost half of Ringwood's points.
I think it's not going to make much difference, but I think, you're going to let 2 people go after a rebound and probably not call that foul.
Jeez, there's a lot of contact under the ring. Shear. Oh, made the extra pass to Garrick. Jeez, that is such a sweet stroke from Matty Garrick. All business and just smooth, lets that thing go, and it never looks like missing.
And a great pass too, inside out, works really well.
The unselfishness has been really clear for Nunawading here, because each player has had a moment where they've really got going, but they're happy to make the extra pass, and credit to the coaching staff for clearly getting them to believe in a certain system. And geez, that is a quick trigger travel call.
Well, because we don't see many travels called in basketball anymore because of the rule changes, and when you see a travel call, it's almost a surprise, even though it was probably there.
And a warning now.
So Megan Mullings not that happy, I think, with some of the calls going down Ringwood's end, but, you know, when you're down 38 points.
Officiating doesn't make that much of a difference, sadly.
No, it does not.
Here comes Spillane. Flips the ball up to Mahalko. Garrick, big block. There was a lot of body in it, no call. Mahalko's grabbing at her face. It was a big block, though, from Matty Garrick.
I just think that you know, you're calling a little foul down here on the rebound. If you're going to do that, you've got to call those ones where people are attacking the basket and getting knocked on the floor on the baseline. I think they might have missed one there, Matty.
There was a bit of body there. I think got it clean up top, but yeah, a lot of body, but credit to Garrick. It was a good contest. Eventually Mullings got the offensive rebound and now will shoot two.
The one thing that Ringwood have done well today is shoot their foul shots well. They just haven't been able to get to the foul line.
Good on you for finding the silver lining there, Ken.
It took me 10 minutes, but I found something. So shooting above 80% from the foul line, which is something to hang your head on.
Indeed it is, Ken. Indeed it is. At the moment, though, it's a 36-point ball game. Megan Mullings, she's got 16 of Ringwood's 34, so all credit to her. Here's Boyd, guarded by Ravi Kumar. Good defense from Ravi Kumar. Here's Slater. A lot of contact. This is some interesting officiating at the moment. Ball comes back and it's going to be a shot clock violation. Just contact down both ends and the ref's happy to let them play at the moment.
Well, they're happy to let them play occasionally, sometimes. Look, tough. It's a tough gig to referee basketball, and they're doing a hell of a lot better job than I would do, Matty.
Me too, no doubt about that. Here's Mullings. Geez, that's a bullet pass to Bone. And finally she gets one to roll around. A lot of those have rimmed out. 34-point ball game, though. What a performance from the Nunawading Spectres. We keep saying it, but it's just been an incredible show. 23 assists they're up to now. Boyd, not super confident on the left, but she pulled up and buried it. Good job from Tessa Boyd.
What a beautiful shot. A leaning, floating, going to her left. Nothing but net.
And somebody who I believe had an AFLW contract with the Western Bulldogs, so a talented multi-sport athlete there, Tessa Boyd. Boyd coming off the pick, curls hard, pulls up, falls over, cops a heavy hit. She's still on the ground. She could have almost got the rebound, and the foul is going to be called against Pizzy. And it is at the moment looking a bit like down both ends. They're just picking out certain calls. Well, it's the nicest way I'm going to say it, Ken.
Here's some numbers to chew on with 3 minutes to go before three-quarter time. Nunawading have shot the ball at 65%, 28 from 43, remarkable. 69% from the two-point area and 59% from three.
Incredible shooting numbers.
Remarkable. You cannot beat a team that shoots the ball that well.
And it's been a result of their offense. Their offense has been fantastic. They've moved the ball so fantastically and it's got open looks. Mullings pulls up for a two. Gee, she's playing super well at the moment. Megan Mullings.
Yeah, Mullings is probably the only Hawk that's actually been able to continually score the ball for him, but she needed some help from others.
Good steal from Spillane. Garrick tried to gamble and went again. Spillane just going to go all herself, and there was some contact there, and she'll shoot two. 38-72 at the moment, and it'll be free throws for Kate Spillane. Megan Mullings up to 19. Maddie Garrick leads the game for Nunawading with 20.
And if you compare Ringwood's shooting percentages, they're at 25%, 24% from twos and 26% from threes.
But that 88% from the line, Ken.
Well done, Matty. And you know what? They're back at the line, so hopefully they can make a couple more.
And I think the only miss was one that I absolutely mozzed them on, as Spillane makes that one. Now, around the grounds, of course, there's another game going on at the moment in the women's side of the NBL1. 61-55 at the moment. Bendigo lead Knox. So, of course, Bendigo got upset by Kilsyth, and a strong showing from the starting five from Bendigo. All of them in double digits, just 2 points off the bench. Whereas for Knox, it's 12 and 10 for Scherf that's doing the damage, 9 and 9 for Marina Whittle.
I'm just starting to wonder how long Nunawading will stay with their stars.
I would be surprised if we saw much of Maddie Garrick in the last quarter.
Yeah, I'm not sure that Garrick and Shear need to be playing from now on. I think the game's probably over in their safekeeping with 12 minutes left, a quarter and a little bit. I think that maybe they'll put them on the bench and let them watch the rest of the way and get ready for next week.
Great move from Kathleen Shear. Spin and made the basket. And the foul going to be called on Shear, and that will be free throws for Mullings. They've been going at it down low in the block for the past couple of possessions. Bit of aggression down low.
And Shear's now got 11 points, 6 rebounds, and
13.
13, sorry, buddy. That's
a bit late.
Bit slow to update, but and she's moved the ball well and created for other people.
Yeah, again, smart basketball from Shear.
Well, she got 7 assists, so that's outstanding work for someone
from a centre. That is
someone who's playing in the post predominantly, but also stepping out and hitting threes.
13, 6, and 7, and we saw last night she finished with 21, 7, and 7. So very similar night.
Great game.
Very similar game for Nunawading. It's just been the explosion of Maddie Garrick, who only had 9 points last night. Mullings up to 20 of Ringwood's 41. Oh. That looks like a carry to me. That may be the most blatant missed call of the game as Shear misses a three. Mullings, geez, the effort to get that. And she makes the two. So it's the Megan Mullings show for Ringwood at the moment. She has over half of Ringwood's points. Now up to 23 of their 44, and that's an offensive foul called on Maddie Garrick. And now the crowd finding some voice. It may be too little too late.
I think it might be a little bit too little and a little bit too late, Maddie, but it's good to see the Hawks trying to play this thing out.
And Coach Paul Flynn just telling his team, just let's relax. Forget about the officiating. We're up by 30 points. Play the game. Some good coaching from him.
Yeah, I think Paul can probably sit down and relax. I think they're going to be okay.
And a bit of talk from Maddie Garrick to Kate Spillane about maybe potentially a bit of a flop. She's yapping away. Entry pass, there was 3 of them. Garrick wanted the block. Mahalko went. She got fouled, and it'll be 2 free throws. And Shear. See, this is interesting to me. You've just given a warning, and I see this across all forms of basketball. The warning is the most pointless thing.
Correct.
Because it changes nothing.
Right. I'm not sure why Nunawading need to be getting upset about
They've played such a stellar game. They're up by 30 points. They're shooting over 60% from the field. And I think I have to agree with Coach Flynn, who's now just talking to Shear and just getting her to calm down. Look at the scoreboard, he says.
She's been unbelievable today, and a couple of bad calls, but the damage has been done.
Mahalko makes the second. Now some up pressure defense from Nunawading. From Ringwood on Nunawading,
which is good, but perhaps a quarter ago, maybe we could have got up and tried to change the flow of the game a little bit. But at least, as I said, at least they're trying to play this thing out.
29-point lead at the moment for the Spectres. Here's Garrick. Has a great ability of getting that shot up immediately, and Slater gets the ball. Up and in from Sarah Slater. Here's Mahalko. Bone. Back to Mahalko. She wanted to shoot it, but the pass was a bit loose. Mullings is just doing it herself, which is fair enough because she's having such a great game. Mahalko in the corner for 3. That looks good. Not quite. And Brewster comes down with the rebound for Nunawading.
Cassidy not having the same calibre game that she had last night. She kept the Hawks in the game last night at Geelong, but she's been unable to find the range today.
It's going to be free throws now in the bonus substitution. So Ogier comes in, Bone steps out Garrick steps out, and again, I'd be surprised if we saw her at all in the fourth quarter. And Atuniadu comes in for Nunawading.
So there's your answer with Coach Flynn bringing some of the stars to the bench and giving them a chance to look on. You probably may not see them again.
First free throw good from Brewster. 32-point lead for the Nunawading Spectres, and what a performance they have put on. They make the second as well, and we keep talking about it, but the shooting numbers have been off the charts. Here's Ogier for Ringwood. Little tip from Boyd. Ravi Kumar back to Ogier. Ravi Kumar, little hesitation dribble. She was fouled, and she'll go to the line to shoot two. So the refs now, I think they may have realised that this game was getting a bit out of hand, and they're just reeling it back in at the moment and tightening it up, which is a good call from them.
Well, I think, at this point, the game's not really on the line, is it, Matty? So, people, specifically Nunawading, they don't want any injuries at this point. Bigger fish to fry, and probably the refs doing the right thing, just make sure the game's nice and clean.
Ravi Kumar makes the first. 16 seconds left in the third quarter, and it's a 32-point ball game. What a quarter it's been for Nunawading. They turned it on, 16-0 run. I think that carried over from the second as well, and they have flown here in this third period. Here's Brewster. Get that stuff out of here. Mullings, she liked it as well, and that gave Ringwood something to cheer about.
First time we've heard the crowd make some noise in quite a while, man.
They've been wanting to get into the game, Kenny, but that start meant that they were out of it pretty quickly. Just 5 seconds left on the clock. Boyd. That's a deep three. That's not going in, and Ogier came down with the rebound. So a third quarter that was dominated by the Nunawading Spectres. They enter the fourth with the game pretty much in the bag. It's a 31-point lead. We'll take a break, and we'll be back with the fourth and final quarter. Hello and welcome back to the rings for the fourth and final quarter of this matchup between the Ringwood Hawks and the Nunawading Spectres. NBL1 semi-final action, and it's the Ringwood Hawks who trail on their home floor by 31 points. It's been an absolute masterclass being put on by the Spectres. They lead 78-47. My name is Matt Hickey if you're just joining us, and Ken Harrington sits alongside me. And Ken, it has been a clinic from the Nunawading Spectres.
They've been special, Matty. Unbelievable performance. 63% from the field. As good as you'll see.
Three ball comes from D'Angelo, and they pick up right from where they left off. 3 more points, and the pain continues for the Hawks.
Well, they were due to make one because their three-point percentage was getting close to about 55%.
Oh, no.
So now it's back to about 60.
You cannot have that. Mullings, she just shoots the 2, and well, why not the way she's playing? She deserves to get a few more up. I would think she's up to 23 of the Hawks' 47. Leads the game in scoring as well. Scarrier onto the floor for the Hawks. Good to see her get some minutes, and another rebound for Mullings. 23 and 11 for her. Farnworth meets a triple team. Bone gets the ball to Scarrier, shoots the two, and Gina Scarrier gets on the board.
The whole bench rising too. Great to see Gina get some court time. She's very capable too. Captain of the Indian national team and very popular.
And a great
in
story.
India.
Great story here in Ringwood as we see D'Angelo with another three. Farnworth just tips it to her own advantage and then comes away with the rebound.
Even though Gina doesn't get a lot of minutes, she's one of the most popular players in the team.
And Farnworth, well, her tough night continues. And D'Angelo, oh, look at that for play from Nunawading. The build-up was exceptional, but the finish not there for Antoniadou. That was razzle-dazzle stuff, but they couldn't quite finish it off. Hawks just slowing it down. Scarrier. Ogier. There's a push-off there. And it's going to be Nunawading ball.
Yeah, a little offensive foul there. Interesting call. But, you know, great to see Gina out there and the Harrows coming back. Tony Farnworth only lasted a minute and a half again.
And that might be her for the game, you might think. And she's upset and reasonably so, but what a fantastic season she's had for Ringwood. Her first for the Hawks. And during the regular season, averaged 18.5 points, 6 rebounds, and 3.7 assists per game. And one of the big reasons as to why they got this far.
She was amazing. Amazing season.
A Slater down low managed to flick it up and in for two. Ravi Kumar shoot that ball. She does. Off front rim. Maybe a travel. Got away with a little hop step. Surely a 1-2. Eventually it does get back there, and good work running the transition basket. And now it's a bit of pride here for Ringwood.
Yeah,
they don't want this to slip out to 40-plus points.
Just watching some of the Hawks not getting back in D at all there. That's disappointing.
And Mullings just continues to grind away, and you've got to applaud her. A fantastic effort. The energy's been there from Megan Mullings. Now up to 25 points, 11 rebounds, 2 blocks, and an assist. That's a loose ball. Ravi Kumar can go up to Ogier if she gets her head up. It was closed off, and Ravi Kumar made the decision just to hold things up. Mullings turns the corner, just do it all herself, but she threw that one straight to Antoniadou. They're running the break. Here's Brewster. That's as easy as you like. It's a training drill out there at the moment for the Nunawading Spectres. They now lead by 36.
Yeah, you just hope that the Hawks don't let it go. Like, don't let this thing blow out to 40 or 50. Like, try and get it back to, you know, into the 20s.
Danny Bone, that's nothing but net. Sweet little step back from her off the pick. And again, they'll want to cut this back inside 30. Brewster for three. And a little bit too much momentum. Oh, D'Angelo, great rebound. She's met with a double team, and Mullings just well takes it right out of her hands and says, I'll run the point if I have to do everything out here.
Chelsea D'Angelo has been really impressive. I mean, we've spoken about Shear and Garrick, but D'Angelo's been outstanding.
Scarrier couldn't go against Slater. Mullings pulls up for two, high arcing. Did everything but drop the way she's shooting. I thought that would have been in, and you're right, D'Angelo been fantastic. I believe she was part of that under-19 squad.
She was, mate, yeah, and she's really talented too. She's only 19 years old.
Here's Brewster. She's just stuck on the right hand, and a fantastic pass for Pizzy. And it's been the staple of Nunawading's game. 27 assists now for the Spectres. And their ability to penetrate dish and get that ball zipping round has been the reason why they now lead by 35 points.
There's not a lot of respite for the Hawks because Nunawading are going to their bench, but they're bringing on players that are full of confidence and can also score and create and play the same type of basketball that's got the big lead anyway.
Incredible bench depth for Nunawading, and we spoke about it pre-game. They have 6 players who average double-digit points on the season. And that's quite an impressive stat.
So who do you think's going to win the championship? I mean, what we've seen today is really changed where I thought this thing was going this weekend.
Where did you think it was going?
I thought it was going to Bendigo and then Kilsyth go up there and not just win comfortably.
And Bendigo, 9-point lead over Knox in that other game, so 73-64, 5 minutes to go in the fourth. So hasn't been convincing there. They should probably hold on, but definitely not convincing.
Well, this Nunawading Kilsyth game I think that we're going to get next week is going to be something special. That's two teams that are playing really, really well at the right time of the season.
Indeed, and you got to think that the way that the Spectres are playing, if they can play like this, it's going to be hard for any team to beat them. But you're right, of course, Kilsyth, that impressive win over Bendigo.
Well, you'd expect that Kilsyth would really go to school on this game and would hopefully do a lot of things defensively different and give Nunawading different looks to what Ringwood gave them today.
And last night at the Nunawading men, they booked a spot in the prelims with a win over Geelong. 6-point victory there. That was pretty impressive. A come-from-behind victory, and they managed to hold on in the fourth quarter as we see Osier up and under. Nice move. And finishes with the right-hand flick. That was an impressive effort from them. And then today in the men's game, as we see, geez, that's close to out of bounds, flicked it back, but only to Spillane. It's Bendigo, who at the moment lead at Kilsyth against the Cobras 33-18 at the start of the second. So that's just in the first quarter. A big performance from Bendigo there.
Nice play by Mullings again. Mullings has really been the only player for the Hawks that's actually played well today.
And no surprise there, Deontay Burton in the first quarter, 10 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists. Pretty impressive stats as we continue to go back and forth here at the rings.
D'Angelo again with a nice move, just finishing, getting all the way to the basket. The Hawks probably are looking for the end of the game now, not looking for baskets. They're looking for exits, really.
And that's a foot, unintentional, but a foot nonetheless.
But there's 4 minutes 43 to go, and the Hawks need to finish the season off well. Don't let this thing, drift off into a 40 or 50 point game. That would be a shame after the season they've had. Unfortunately, 2 straight losses in the finals, but Tim and the girls can really hold their head up high. They've done the club proud. First year of NBL1, and Tony, and Megan, and Cassidy, and all the girls have been terrific, and just couldn't get it done this weekend.
Spillane couldn't quite go. Mullings probably got fouled. They've managed to avoid the turnover thanks to a good save from Spillane. Ravi Kumar. That was a nice move, got fouled, and now she'll shoot 2. And into the game, a couple of youngsters for the Nunawading Spectres. Fakalata into the game.
Izzy fella's in there too. Izzy's only 17 years of age, so she'll be loving this experience.
And Louisa Fakalata just 16 years of age.
Great experience for young girls.
NBL1 finals, incredible.
And they're going to get to play about 5 or 6 minutes too. So that's, good minutes and great experience.
Lead sits at 33. Ravi Kumar missed the first. Missed the second. Mullings almost got another rebound. She's a little bit hurt, I think, but manages to shake it off and get up. And those hurt the free throw stats that we were so keen on. And that's probably going to be a foul on Kate Spillane, I'm going to say. No, it's going to go, yes, on Kate Spillane. There was a bit of a push in the back that we could see from this angle, and it was the official that had the angle in front of us that called it. Points count, and a great job.
Wow, what a great move by Fakalata, who really drove the ball, wore the contact, and still finished. And
incredible aggression for somebody who's just coming in and playing NBL1 finals basketball.
A 16-year-old with no fear, and that's fantastic. What a great future she's going to have.
An early touch, and says, I'll take that, thank you, and continues to pour on the pain for the Ringwood Hawks. They'll be targeting 100 points, you'd think. Nunawading. Ravi Kumar, extra pass. Osier hesitates, goes on the right, steps through, flicks it up. Mahalko, what a rebound. Been doing that all season, as we always talk about. And then Spillane gets an and one.
Right on the shot clock too. But look, the Hawks are fighting this out, which is good.
So now it looks like Tessa Boyd to come in.
Again, I know we've banged on about it, Matty, but, with 3.5 minutes to go, or 3 minutes 53 to go, Nunawading is still shooting the ball at 63%, 70% on 2-pointers, and 50% from the 3-point line, 11 from 22. Remarkable. And
that's, as you say, 22 attempts from deep, so it's not like they've only taken 6 or 7 and they're shooting 50%. It's a whopping 22 attempts and they've nailed 11 of them.
Yeah,
and
Ringwood
tough to guard.
Hawks are at 30%, and that's why the difference in the game is so large.
Here's Brewster. Push off. Good hands, and Ravi Kumar comes away with it. Pushes in front. Slater chasing. Mullings with another offensive rebound. She maybe got fouled. Ball still loose. It'll come to Ogier.
Do you think Coach Tim Motton's got a 34-point play in his kick bag, maybe?
I tell you what, it would be impressive if he did. It's going to be a foul. That's going to be on Brewster. And now a bit of infighting for Ringwood, so a bit uncomfortable to see that. And Mullings and Ogier not too pleased with what was going on there from each other. Mahalko, nice shot from Cassidy Mahalko, who's had a bit of a tough night, shooting just 10% from the field before that shot. Now she's up to 11 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists.
Yeah, that gives the Hawks 3 players in double figures.
And a travel for Nunawading here.
But Mullings, obviously the standout with 27 points and 12 rebounds today and just not enough support. Danny Bone with 11 points and Cassidy Mahalko with 11 points. Just not enough support.
94-63 at the moment. As you mentioned, Mullings, what a game, 27 and 12. It's a massive game, and that's going to be a sideline ball. And they've called that on the push on the screener.
There you go. There you go, Matty. You've changed the game. Maybe the referee's advisor was listening to us.
This is the first time ever.
It went down
and
and
I've actually had an official listen to me.
Well, you've given them plenty of advice over the years. So
it's all been good advice, though, Ken.
All your advice is outstanding, mate. There's no doubt about that.
Nice advice as well. Spillane with the flick, couldn't quite get it to go. Mullings, she wants 2 more, and she gets 2 more. 29 now for Megan Mullings. Good hands from Ogier. Geez, the effort's been there from Ella Ogier. Just that first quarter playing catch-up from the beginning. It's going to be a foul on Brewster. It's going to be shots for Mullings.
Mullings a chance to take her scoring over 30, which is an outstanding game. Outstanding.
And Brewster wasn't pleased with the call, looked over to Coach Flynn and looked over to the bench for a bit of empathy, but he wasn't giving it to her at all and said just get on with the job.
Yep. 2.5 minutes to go. That's not going to change the world.
Mullings, geez, you may have put the moz on her.
She'll get this one.
Here, Kenny.
She'll get this one. This will give her 30 points.
There you go. You've heard it here first. Ken Harrington.
I've called it already, mate.
Has called this basket.
Put it in the book.
Oh, no, Ken.
Sorry, Megan.
No. Still 2.5 minutes. And there's a foul. It's not going to result in free throws because they're still a fair way away from being in the bonus. Jackie Trotto's going to check in. And I'll tell you what, if this is for Mullings, and it is, oh, Ken. Well, you've just...
Well, what a great game.
Just inexperience from you here in the commentary booth.
Well, it's not one of my strengths sitting here next to you, but I will say...
You're right, what a game.
She had a great season for Megan and a great game today. And
average 15 and 7 on the year.
29 points, 13 rebounds. She did her job today.
And had to battle through a fair bit of foul trouble in a number of games, but managed to accustom herself to the way the game was officialed, and an impressive season from her, an impressive finish despite the Hawks struggling. They managed to get inside 30 points here, and we've got 2:10 left in the game, and that's going to be 5 personal fouls for Ella Ogier in just 15 minutes. Impressive effort. Gina Scaria back on. I'm surprised Scaria got subbed off. And once again, one of the silliest things that you see in the game of basketball, the ref sees the substitution but then forces the player to go through the bench.
Rules are rules, Matthew. If you can't respect the rules, then...
That's why I'm up here, Ken. Make my own rules in this commentary booth.
Good steal by Ravakuma here. She needs to finish that, and she does.
Just rolled in. So again, just bringing back and winning some pride here for the Ringwood Hawks. It looked like it was going to get out to 40 plus, now back to 27 with inside 2 minutes to play in the fourth. Here's Brewster. They're lining up over on the other side, but Brewster, that's a classy shot.
Yeah, she's looked good today as well. I mean, she's going to be a very, very big part of their finals push coming up.
Ravi Kumar, good pass to Scaria. Up fake probably when she didn't have to, but it didn't matter, so she got the 2 points. Gina Scaria.
Another steal for the Hawks. Nice play by Spillane. Hawks are trying to fight this one out, Matty, which is good. It's a better way to finish the season, fighting it out than just, letting the game slip away. And another steal.
Another turnover. And I tell you what, Coach Flynn might not be too unhappy about this because it gives him some ammo at training. You get to training after, if it was a 40-point victory, and you don't have a lot to fire up your players or get stuck into your players, and maybe they get a little bit complacent, but now he's got a little bit of ammo that he can unload during the week.
Nice try, Matty, but that's absolutely not the case. His team, his girls have been amazing. They've had a fantastic game today. They've brought their A game. They've defended. They've shot the ball well. And, this game's been over for, a long time. And
we've done our best to make it seem like it hasn't been.
If you're out there listening, if you're still
listening, thank you.
Still there, we've done our best to try and get you over the line.
So 96-71, but this is a Spectres team who, as you said, it's been a ridiculous performance. Still shooting over 60% from the field, 50% from deep. They've had 27 assists on the game. They've had 22 turnovers. As Ravi Kumar, lovely finish up and in inside the final minute. 22 turnovers for a team that's going to put on 100 points, going to win by almost 30.
Yeah.
And they've got so much room for improvement.
Yeah, they got a nice little edge on the boards too. 41-36 on the boards has been good as well.
And I think that number has probably tightened in this fourth quarter when the game's been over. Scarrier, step through, gets it out to Spillane. She'll shoot the three. Couldn't quite get it to go, and Slater comes down with the rebound. Inside the last 30 seconds now. Lead is 24 at this point. Brewster, fadeaway J, and that's air ball. And Izzy Fella, she wanted the ball. She wanted to get some points. She was wide open on the wing, but didn't get it. 18 seconds, and that is all we will have, you would think.
Wouldn't be a bad idea to dribble this one out, Matty, and call it a night and call it a season for the Hawks. Great season for the Hawks, but it's going to be the Spectres that are going to be moving on to the next level to see if they can't make a run at a championship.
And they will play Kilsyth next week in what will be a ripping game. Worth tuning into that one. Scarrier tries to get one final basket, but that is all she wrote as the Nunawading Spectres stream away. An incredible start, and they win 97-73. A first and third quarter that really set this place alight, and they run away 24-point winners. Ken, what a performance. We've spoken about it for the past 20 minutes, but geez, it's been impressive.
Oh, well, look, they're a talented team. They're well coached by Paul Flynn. Maddie Garrick and Kath Shear came out from the tip-off and really set the tone of the game. Unbelievable shooting. We've banged on about it, but it's 62% from the field for Nunawading as opposed to 33% for the Hawks. 69% from the two as opposed to 36 for the Hawks, and 50% from the three as opposed to 26 for the Hawks.
So they've shot better percentage in 2-point range than they have at the free throw line.
Right, they shot 67% from the free throw line on 10 of 15, Nunawading. Hawks are 15 of 21 for the Hawks, so that's probably the only area of the game that they actually won today.
They eventually, and they looked after the ball a lot better in the final three quarters. Of course, 13 turnovers just for Ringwood, 23 for Nunawading. The fact that they've had 23 turnovers and ran away 24-point winners is very, very impressive. And the 27 assists is the one that I've been harping on about, but their ball movement's been incredible. And now we see Ringwood, they exit the floor. They applaud their fans. It's been a fantastic season for Ringwood. They finished third, 15-5 on the year, and all credit to them for what is a fantastic season. It finishes a lot earlier than they would have planned, a quick exit, 2 losses in a row Saturday and Sunday, but still don't take anything away from them. A fantastic year in NBL1 when not a whole lot was expected from them from the outside.
Well, and they just ran into a red-hot Nunawading team who did the same thing to Waverley last night, and next week when they go into a preliminary final, Nunawading, if they play anywhere near that level of play, they're going to beat probably anybody. They've had a 6+ on the rebounds today. Their 23 turnovers. It doesn't matter when you're shooting the ball at 60 to 70% through the whole game. You can cover a myriad of issues when you shoot and make so many shots. And, great job by Nunawading. Outstanding season for the Hawks girls. They need to hold their head up high. Tim Motton and his group there have done an amazing job, and it's a sad to finish that way, but as I said to you earlier, got to give them credit for what they've done over the duration of a season.
Indeed, they had a fantastic season. Just wrapping up some of those individual stats. For Nunawading, Maddie Garrick, 20 points. Very impressive. 5 assists thrown in there as well. Chelsea D'Angelo had 19. Kathleen Chia had 13 to go along with 6 rebounds and 7 assists. Impressive numbers from the centre in the middle. For Ringwood, well, the story of the game was Megan Mullings. 29 points for her, 13 rebounds. She had a big solo effort, but of course it wasn't enough. 97-73. Nunawading to go on to face Kilsyth. And Ken, I'm going to get you to tell me who is going to win the women's side of the NBL1.
Oh, boy. I'm really impressed by what I saw today, Matty. I think, as I said, I thought Bendigo had this thing in the bag.
And just quickly, Bendigo, 82-65 winners over Knox, so now they also progress to the prelims.
Right. I thought Bendigo, and Bendigo still may win it. I still think Bendigo are going to be hard to beat. So much talent. Not a lot of depth, mind you. They're playing 6 people into the ground, but if Bendigo play well, they're going to win. But what I saw today has certainly made me think twice that this women's competition is wide open. 4 great teams left, 3 great games of basketball to come.
Indeed, and as it is for the men's side as well. NBL1 finals, they're really heating up now. It's time for the prelims next week. That's going to be the final broadcast we have here from Ringwood. It's been an absolute pleasure bringing you all the games across the season. What a start in NBL1 it is for the Hawks. And Ken, thank you for everything you do around the club, and thank you for jumping up here in the commentary box with me.
Thank you, Matthew. Unbelievable year. Clearly the best commentator in
too
NBL1.
Kind, sir. Too kind.
If you're an NBL team and you're looking for somebody to step up and do some commentary work, Matthew Hickey, look him up on Facebook.
I'm taking calls.
He's the best in the business. Get him on board. We're lucky to have him here. And great season, Matt. We've loved it. And hopefully we have another great season next year. Appreciate
it, Ken. And thank you again for all the work you do and what it was a fantastic NBL1 season for the Ringwood Hawks. Well, that is all we have time for. Good luck to all the teams remaining in the competition. Still plenty of basketball to be played. But in terms of what we have here from Ringwood, that is all she wrote. We hope you have a good rest of the season. We hope you have a good off-season, and no doubt we'll be back in absolutely no time, Ken. And I think we might leave it right there.
Good on you, Matt.
Have a good rest of your weekend, everyone. Enjoy.